Welcome in YouTube and welcome in Twitch. It's Juicy coming in with the season, what is it, 14, 13, I don't remember, defenses. A little bit about it, right? So they did move Crucible back a week from now, but I ended up having to go ahead and um, make this video. Mom's coming into town tomorrow, so I'm going to be out for the weekend. So it actually worked out that I was planning on missing the first week of CC, but now it will be here. Um, so we're gonna knock this out together. So kind of going over some of the basics of the rooms. Like we've already seen room one, right? It's gonna be glass cannon. Biggest thing to watch out for is gonna be Thanos, right? He's got 5 death proofs, and if you push him with the extra 100% damage, he can kill you. But any striker is gonna have the extra damage, so you have to be very mindful of that when into this room. Turtle Shell was not in the U32, and so going a little bit of that. The team that you send in there is going to have 50% barrier, and then they're going to have 100% extra damage, so they're going to have extra barrier, extra damage, and the faster the team is, usually the better they're going to do. Toxic was in U32. It's basically every time you take a turn, you lose 15% of your health. So if you just put a tanky team in there, that would be just fine. Room 4 is going to be a nightmare with the fact that you lower the focus and damage 50% to non-Mephisto allies for 2 turns. That's going to be a problem. And then immune system, you get some heals for any mutant that you put in here. Not the best, because honestly most of the mutants in this game aren't worth putting on defense, and they're probably going to serve you better on offense, especially when you see what the turtle meta is going to be. I think there was a problem with Starjammers in particular. They needed to be better, and I think they're going to struggle in about 3 or 4 rooms, and you'll see why. Okay, and then room 6, this is a big one too. You can't have speed bar up or down. You can't increase or decrease speed bar. You cannot if you get speed up, you actually stay at the same speed. If you get slow, you stay at the same speed. So that's going to be interesting, because that means that everything basically stays at base speed, which will mess with a lot of teams if they're relying on speed up, like very fast teams. It slows them down, and so the biggest thing is you want to mess with that speed bar. So that requires you to just keep some things on offense. All right. So going on what I recommend, or what I'm thinking of doing for my first week, right? There's a week and a half now to think, right? I'm gonna send this out, and then people are gonna to see some things and other videos. So I may try to put a second one out, but it'll be much shorter than this one. So the first team I have is gonna be the Illuminati with Thanos in the corner. Again, room 4, you can be able to split Odin away from your Illuminati this season, because that room itself gives Odin enough protection on its own that keeps him from being one shot, gives them a lot of problems. So this is going to be an interesting room, right? So that's what I'm putting in room 1, right? You got to be mindful of Thanos. You can't use Immortal, because Immortal's too slow. They're going to get ripped apart by how fast the rest of this team is. They're going to come in there, do all their assists, and you are probably going to be dead. So you have to come in there with something bigger. If you can pull that Sinister 6 with Old Man Logan, it's still very dangerous, because you can push the Thanos. Thanos can kill your team, and then it's all she wrote, because I don't think Sinister 6 can survive the Thanos being pushed. So be mindful of that. This is just an example of a room that's going to be a problem, right? They can Starjammers this, but it's Starjammers. I mean, you pull Starjammers here, it's great. Or if you pull anything else bigger than that. Room 2, we're going to have Sus, the 3 Annihilators that we're not using elsewhere, and then Pav. So Pav gives you that vulnerable to the start. Sus is a fast tune. You can't control him with Cabal. You're going to have to use something bigger. You're going to really want to use your Immortals here, and later on, again, we're trying to tax that Immortals team. It's tax that Starjammers team, right? Because those will both easily beat this team. But you want to really stretch them, as we're going to see later on in the rooms. But that's just kind of the example of what I have in here. That barrier is going to be helpful for Sus. Barrier is going to be really helpful for Gladiator. It's going to be really annoying. And again, some of these things, it's not even going to matter, because this overpowered thing is really going to affect some of these rooms. I think 4 is going to get really old if they have a G20 Odin and you do not. So just be mindful of that. Room 3, I this is just put a huge team here. I think that the room allows the people to just take turns and get hit. But there is just a danger in having investing too much into this room when there's other rooms, right? Anytime you have a better team than this, you want to put it somewhere elsewhere. And so I ended up just leaving Wanda's Revenge team in here, right? Which is MLF, Quicksilver, everything's just revolving around keeping that Wanda nice and strong and healthy and taking a bunch of extra turns. And this team's gonna have a little more value, right? Because they're gonna want their immortals, their bigger teams, stuff like that, right? Okay, so room 4. Now room 4, the kind of trick to room 4 is gonna be how you're gonna want to always keep Odin and Nolan here for at least a start. And what 3 tunes can I pair them with in order to have in order to still not be one shot by Phoenix Force? All right, and so I think this is a good example of something that is going to take either a huge Phoenix Force or a huge Phoenix Force with Black Knight and Old Man Logan and APOC, or Echo, something like that humongous team, and they may not come out with a win. I think that the APOC punch, wherever it lands, can definitely change that dynamic, right? Because if he punches out, let's say, what's it called, your Omega Red Phoenix Force, I think you're done for. I think you lose. Same thing with if he punches Old Man Logan, I think you lose then again. Or so, 2 out of the 5 targets get hit by the APOC punch, you lose. Gore is going to rip that charged off Black Knight when he takes a turn, opening him up for Null to really just do some damage. Okay. Alright. Lastly, or room 5. Room 5 again, I don't really like room 5 as a defense. I don't think it's going to be that helpful. So I just put a Liberty, and I think I may pull Liberty and put X-Men back in here, being okay with the loss to this team. Biggest thing is you don't want a team that's going to get beat by something that's a little older, so like a new Warrior or something like that. This team is pretty fast, pretty dangerous. It has big stats. Takes a big team to kill, like an Astral. So that's just something to think about. Be careful about, again, I don't want to put Astral in here because I think Astral's going to be very important on offense, especially because you're going to really want to keep that new Emma on offense in your hand in case they do something really rough in 6, because again, you can only manipulate speed in so many ways, and so both the Emmas are going to be really important to have on offense in case they do something like this, right? This is Mephisto with Night Stalkers. Again, the things like speed up, speed down are really going to mess with us. The mirror is not going to be as safe as it's been before, right? Because you're thinking about that 5% turn meter for your oath, getting ahead of them after your double sack, and then you're now playing speed ties, and you can potentially lose speed ties. And also you have Mephisto there sitting there. If you didn't sack him right, he can ult and kill your entire team. And so that's just something to be mindful of. Your Cabal team's too slow now. He could probably do double sack and then Cabal, and so that new Emma can slow down these Night Stalkers to the point that you can actually get ahead of them. And so if your new Emma is on defense, I think that this room is gonna stump you because you're missing all your pieces. As you can see, this defense in itself is gonna be a very turtle meta, especially towards the top, because the rooms that give you strength to do that, right? You could put all this on defense, and then you still have some valuable parts on offense, right? Because we still have, when I look at this, I still have my Phoenix Force, I still have my Astral, I still have Kahori, right? I'm not ready to put Kahori on defense just yet. I think she's not as valuable on defense without a room that gives her energy. Okay. You have your Starjammers, right? Starjammers still have value. Oh Man Logan, Immortal X-Men. I still have my Orcus. Orcus can be useful. I have Cabal and Kang. Then I start getting towards the Dregs pretty quickly. You have your Eternals, you have your Dorm, you have your Weaver. So you still have a lot of pieces you can still use even with this, just the age of the game and the team. And so that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I can move things around. It may be a slight change, but this is more or less what I'm thinking of. I think the big stories of the first week is how people are going to adjust Room 4. what 3-piece are they going to put in room 4 with the Odin and Null to still draw that huge team, still work hard at the killing of the Odin without allowing them to really get to it, and having that Illuminati, right, still having value. You may see teams where, you know, Illuminati doesn't have to be with Thanos. I just thought that would be a really difficult team to get through, because again, just a difficult team. I'm still thinking about counters for itself. If I see that my own defense, several of these rooms, right, we already know counters for. The Immortal team can easily be 2, 3, 5, and maybe 6 after a double sack. I've heard mixed messaging on that, especially with the turn meter, right? So now your blade's actually going to get out to go. Your Agatha, you may end up losing that one. So actually, I'm not sure if that's going to work. Again, room 6 is going to be messy, so be mindful of that. Anyway, best of luck in y'all's round 1. Here's my thoughts. Again, I will try to put something else, but later, y'all.